What if I told you there's a bank inside the Vatican that doesn't follow any country's laws? A bank so secret it's been accused of hiding mafia money, laundering billions, and even funding covert wars. Because behind the towering walls of Vatican City lies one of the most mysterious financial institutions on Earth. A bank so powerful, so untouchable, that even governments hesitate to question it. Officially, it's called the Institute for the Works of Religion. Unofficially, it's known as the Vatican Bank. It was created in 1942 by Pope Pius XII to manage the Church's global donations. A noble idea on paper, but over time, the purpose shifted. It became more than a place to store money. It became a fortress of secrecy, a system answerable to no one except the Pope himself. While other banks were audited, taxed, and regulated, the Vatican Bank lived outside the world's financial rules. A state within a state, beyond the reach of any law. After World War II, when Europe was rebuilding from ashes, the Vatican's wealth quietly expanded. Gold, art, real estate, investments, money flowed in from every corner of the Catholic world, and with it came something far more dangerous: influence. During the Cold War, whispers grew louder that the Vatican's money was being used for more than charity. Intelligence agencies, especially the CIA, allegedly funneled funds through Vatican accounts to support anti-communist movements in Eastern Europe. On the surface, it was faith fighting for freedom, but in reality, it blurred the line between religion and geopolitics. That's when a new player entered the story: Banco Ambrosiano. It was one of Italy's most powerful private banks, and its chairman, Roberto Calvi, had built a reputation as a financial genius. Because of his deep ties with the Vatican, people called him God's banker. During the 1970s, Calvi partnered closely with Archbishop Paul Marcinkus, the head of the Vatican Bank. Together, they created a massive network of offshore companies in Panama, Luxembourg, and the Bahamas, designed to secretly move billions of dollars across borders. Some of this money came from religious institutions. Some of it came from places no one wanted to talk about. Investigators later discovered that Banco Ambrosiano's accounts were allegedly used by the Sicilian mafia to launder drug money, and even by members of the secret Masonic Lodge Propaganda Due, P2, a powerful underground organization tied to politicians, generals, and businessmen. But in 1982, everything came crashing down. Banco Ambrosiano suddenly collapsed, and $1.3 billion vanished without a trace. Days later, Roberto Calvi, the man at the center of it all, was found hanging beneath London's Blackfriars Bridge. In his pockets were a brick, $15,000 in cash, and documents linking him directly to the Vatican. Police called it suicide, but investigators saw signs of something far darker. The Vatican denied any involvement, but as the largest shareholder in Banco Ambrosiano, it had everything to lose. Eventually, it quietly agreed to pay $250 million in goodwill to cover the losses, without admitting guilt. Archbishop Marcinkus, deeply involved in the scandal, was shielded from arrest by the Pope himself. Italian investigators weren't allowed inside Vatican City. Documents disappeared. Witnesses changed their stories. And just like that, the trail went cold. But money never truly disappears. Years later, parts of the missing billions were traced to accounts linked to political operations in Latin America and Eastern Europe. Some believe the Vatican's funds helped finance movements like Solidarity in Poland, seen by many as the spark that weakened Soviet control. To the Church, it was divine intervention. To everyone else, it looked like a global money laundering empire hiding behind the veil of faith. Decades passed. Popes came and went. Under Pope Benedict and later Pope Francis, the Vatican Bank promised transparency. Accounts were reviewed, audits were announced, and hundreds of suspicious ones were closed. But when reporters asked to see the full audit, it was never made public. Even in 2013, Vatican accounts still held more than 7 billion euros. Many weren't linked to churches or charities, but to politicians, businessmen, and intelligence figures. Whistleblowers who tried to expose it were quietly dismissed, relocated, or silenced. And so, The Vatican's financial empire remains as secretive as ever, holy on the outside, untouchable on the inside. Today, officials claim the Vatican Bank has changed, but no outsider has ever seen its full records. Trillions have passed through its hands. No one truly knows where they came from, or where they went. Maybe it's all faith and finance, or maybe it's something far darker, a global machine that launders money in the name of God. Because in the Vatican, even God's bank doesn't need to confess.